Welcome to the briefing room. I'm your host, Chief David Malloy, Director of Public Safety for the City of Novi. And I'm very privileged to be joined by two of our command officers with the Novi Police Department, Deputy Chief Tom Limberg and Lieutenant Jared Hart. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Hi, Chief.
Lieutenant, why don't you start out and tell us a little bit about your background with the organization, your educational level, and what your assignment currently is with the organization.
Well, I started in 1991 as a police officer, as we all do within the organization. Prior to that, I graduated from Ferris State University with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I spent about 8 years in the patrol division, went through, was our first school resource officer, came back working the investigative section, and was promoted to sergeant in 2006 and then lieutenant in 2008.
And your current assignment?
I'm a lieutenant in the patrol division. I have 4 sergeants and about 16 police officers that work what's my side, since we work the 12-hour shifts, and then Lieutenant Wooten has the remaining personnel.
Okay. Currently working on an advanced degree now?
Yes, I'm in the graduate program in technology studies with a concentration in Homeland Security down at Eastern Michigan University, and I'm glad to say I'm in my last class. So.
Excellent, excellent. And Deputy Chief, tell us a little bit about what your assignments are and responsibilities and your background in education.
Well, last week I celebrated my 26th anniversary with the Novi Police Department. I joined in 1986 after securing a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Michigan State University. Additionally, I've completed my master's degree in management from Walsh College. Throughout my career at the Novi Police Department, I've been able to experience almost every position that there is, from field training officer in patrol to teaching DARE and undercover narcotics assignments. Currently, a member of your public safety administrative team, I'm the deputy chief in charge of support services, which encompasses records, dispatch, and of course day-to-day responsibilities throughout the department.
And you both graduated from the School of Police Staff and Command at Eastern Michigan University?
Yes, I think Tom may have been at a different university.
Yes,
okay.
I was through the Northwestern Staff and Command that they taught remotely, and they held it in Farmington Hills.
Okay, and then additionally you went to some training in Quantico?
Correct. I am a graduate of the FBI National Academy, the 231st session, an 11-week program out of Quantico, the Marine base there. Some of the best training and networking opportunities that I've had.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about crime mapping. We've recently added a new offering to our website with crime mapping. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about what that is and how it's involved?
Well, crime mapping is something that we've been trying to do for an extended period, but as we did our research with the help of our GIS manager, we found that most products that we could get a hold of were very labor intensive. And finally, a company called the Omega Group came forward and asked us to partner with them. And what they have is they have a relationship with Oakland County Clemens, to where they can garner all our crime data directly, and then they take that data, check it, make sure that it's all accurate, and they post it on crimemapping.com.
And people can access that through the city's website at cityofnovi.org.
Cityofnovi.org, and they go to the police tab there. And one of the first things that you will see is crime mapping. And just click on that and you'll get an overview of the city. And you'll get approximately 3 to 4 days worth of crimes that have occurred. Now, you can also take that and change the dates and go back for 6 months. They're storing 6 months of our data there. Now, of course, that's hard to ferret out because it gets a little cluttered. But going back a couple weeks, you can see everything that is a Part A crime. And what's important about that too is to understand that it does not get posted on that site until everything is verified and it goes through our chain of command. And I've already had a few calls, hey, I heard this happened in our neighborhood last night and I don't see it on crimemapping.com this morning. Well, because some cases are still under investigations and there's some follow-up to be done, they may not see that there. But for the most part, it's a very interactive website. You can filter out and say you're doing a research project at Novi High School and you want to learn how many OWIs have been arrested during a certain month. You can go and pick those and create your own reports, whether it's on the map or a detailed narrative of what has happened.
Lieutenant, have you been able to access this and take a look at it? I know probably been involved in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a Novi resident as well, so I want to know what's going on around me. So looking at it from both angles, as someone involved in the organization and then as a resident. What I like about it is you can get in there, it's very interactive. Not only can you pick your range dates, you can look at the specific types of crimes that are occurring, adjust it to range, as far as time and location, and really it plays into a larger picture. If you see something, say something. If our residents are more informed as to what's going on in their neighborhoods, and they're keen into what to look for, then they're more likely to call and report that activity to us as well. And I use it for operations as well, to look for what trends are going on. As you know, we receive daily updates on what happens on particular shifts, but this kind of gives that visual, and it's very easy to see.
Great. And it really just kind of lends itself to our whole philosophy of open and transparent government. We want the residents to be prepared. We know that if our citizenry is prepared, they know what to look for, they know where the incidents are taking place. Number one, they can prevent themselves from becoming victims of crime, but they can also help us solve crime. I know recently we had a few destruction of property complaints involving mailboxes and lawns being damaged, and we got that information out there and got that out to a couple different specific groups. And within days, we already had a suspect vehicle, within hours, we had a suspect vehicle that we've been able to develop and tie back to those crimes that happened a couple days prior. So by keeping our residents informed, we're really just, it's a force multiplier for us.
Absolutely.
Deputy Chief, you had an instance recently where we had a local resident who was actually very akin to what's going on and actually helped us solve his crime. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, it also goes in line with the technology, and not only do we want to make technology available to the citizens, but they need to know what technology is out and available to them. And one of the pieces was there was a gentleman who was visiting the Sports Club of Novi. And unlike his normal pattern, he didn't secure his cell phone and his wallet in the locker. What he did is he inadvertently left them in his pants pocket, and a young man came by and stole the iPhone as well as the gentleman's wallet. When our victim found that it was missing, he called the police to make a report, and additionally he called a friend of his who also had an iPhone and had the app called Find My Apple. And what it is it's a GPS type technology that allowed him to track where his iPhone was at. He immediately activated it and found that the phone was in the parking lot of Brighton Hospital. So the victim left and was traveling out to Brighton, but within a few moments, as they're tracking it, they see that it's traveling down through Milford, and he's back on the phone with our officer, who did a great job, supplied him a cell phone. Hey, keep me informed where it's at, and we'll get it. He contacted him and said, the phone is in a house in Novi. The officer went to that house, and this technology is so specific that it was actually showing a specific location in the house where that phone was. The officer did an on-site interview, and a 22-year-old Novi resident admitted to stealing the iPhone and the wallet, and both were recovered.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, that's having an educated citizenry, educated society, a resident with the app on their iPhone, and we need to be cognizant of that technology is out there, and tell other people that they need to register their phones in that fashion. So if there does get stolen or turns up missing somehow, they can actually locate that type of stuff.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break here on the briefing room, and we'll be right back.
Maybe you see something suspicious, but you don't want to get involved. It's nothing, you think. Can you be sure? If you see something, say something. Report suspicious activity to local authorities.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
Welcome back to the briefing room. continue to be joined here by Deputy Chief Tom Lindberg and Lieutenant Jared Hart of the Novi Police Department. And when we left off, gentlemen, we were talking a little bit about crimemapping.com. Lieutenant, tell us a little bit about some of the other features that are involved in crimemapping.com that will help our Novi residents stay in tune with what's going on and up to date. Really almost, not really real time, but as up to date as possible.
Sure. Again, it's a very interactive program running on the internet, and one of the things that our residents can do, and we encourage them to do, is sign up for crime alerts. What that'll allow them to do is they could select an area in the city, whether it's an address, maybe it's their place of business or their residence, and they can create a radius around that location where they will receive crime alerts. If anything is reported in that area, that will come up on either email or text messaging alert to their attention. And one of the things I would really like to do is encourage people to sign up for that, but also really know what's going on throughout Novi. Take the time, because we live and drive through Novi, conduct business here, so I encourage people to not just worry about what's going on around their home, but really be in tune to what's going on in other locations, and they can possibly help us solve crime as well.
A lot of people have smartphones, Blackberries, iPhones. I believe there's got to be an app for it.
Yes, there is. There is an app for it. If you go to the App Store and punch in crime mapping, you will actually see the application. It's free, and you can load it right onto your iPhone. And it's it's awesome. It just pulls up the visual map, and you can see everything in there. It's interactive as well. You can still do your date search, crime search, location, etc. It's the same features that you have internet-based on your, let's say, desktop.
Correct.
Right there on your mobile device.
That's great. Deputy Chief, we have another offering that we use. We use it as a public safety team, police, fire, and our Department of Public Services. Tell the viewing audience a little bit about what that's all about in terms of the how they can sign up for it, what it is that they need to do, and how they get those text message alerts.
Okay, well, the other product is Nixle, and you can go to nixle.com, and there's a link right from the city's website. And you can sign up for the Novi Public Safety Team, and that allows, we'll send out messages. There's three types of messages: a community advisory, a traffic advisory, and then a critical alert. And you can pick and choose what you want to have text to you or email. But for example, if there's a traffic crash on Novi Road at rush hour, the shift supervisor will go into Nixle and send out a message to the subscribers of the Novi Public Safety Team. And a lot of people then will avoid that area during those times. And it can be used for almost anything else, snow emergencies or maybe some other type of incident. It's free, and we started it about 1.5 years ago, and we have 754 subscribers to the Nixle Public Safety Team. But we have the ability to reach approximately 3,600 Nixle users who are registered in the Novi area.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. Have we ever had, do you recall the last time we actually used Nixle? Was it around the holidays or?
It was around the holidays. We put messages out about the traffic, the level of traffic on Novi Road and around our retail area. Shortly before that, we had a train that broke down and was blocking 10 Mile Road at rush hour traffic. And I got a lot of positive feedback about that, because at that time Novi Road was also closed down, and it saved a lot of people a lot of time.
That's great. So Nixle.com, crimemapping.com, they can go to the City of Novi website and access both of those at cityofnovi.org.
Correct.
Another thing that they can also access at that website, Lieutenant, is our mobile speed signs, and we've updated them with the latest technology. Can you tell the viewing audience a little bit about how that's come together and what we're looking to build upon?
Well, again, on our website, you can go on the cityofnovi.org, and under police, under services, right near the crime mapping icon is a request a speed measurement device, and we actually take out a sign, and it's about 2 feet by 2 feet, and we will attach it to a post, a speed limit sign, and we set the speed limit. So if it's a 30-mile-an-hour zone, we'll set it to 30, and as soon as someone hits 31 miles an hour or above, we have a light that comes on and flashes in a strobe mode, and it lets the drivers know that they're exceeding the speed limit. It's very easy to use, very easy to put up and take down, unlike some of our larger trailers that we've utilized in the past. We can also use it to count vehicles, to do speed studies, and other things. And they're, like I say, they're just so portable. The officers love them, and we bring them in usually during the hours of darkness.
Okay.
But
And we're looking to build upon that. We're looking to add 2 more. We currently have
Yes.
2, we're looking to add 2 more.
Yes.
And if a neighborhood association or a resident or a business person would like something like that, how do they go about getting that?
Just get right on the police website, and we'll be able to, you can select the icon there about the speed measurement device, fill out some information, and you'll receive a call back, and we'll take care of it. We'll
Perfect.
get it out there and deploy it every day.
Those are 3 things that I think we've gotten a lot of great feedback on. The crime mapping so far, and it's really only been in its infancy stage for the last month, but Nixle, and then obviously the mobile speed measurement devices have been absolutely fantastic. Deputy Chief, we recently rolled out an enhanced program with our Drug Take Back initiative. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about what that's involved and how they can access that?
Okay. Yes, it is a drug take-back program that actually started with a partnership that we had with the Drug Enforcement Administration. They would do 2 different times this past year where they would partner with us and we would take back unwanted prescription drugs. And it was such a success that we decided that we were going to take these drugs back on a continuous basis. Some departments put large boxes in the lobby and allow people to do that. We chose to have them come into the lobby. They can remain anonymous, but turn the drugs into the cadet or an officer who's sitting at the front desk. And ultimately, those drugs will be compiled and turned over to the DEA for destruction. It has been very successful in the past. One day, and I'm already getting feedback that we're having a lot turned in. It's such a better alternative than people dumping them down the toilet or in the garbage that could pollute our environment. This is an actual destruction program.
But I think even more importantly, we're seeing that prescription drugs are one of the most #1 abused. And Lieutenant, from your
Absolutely.
perspective, how do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we get there?
It's just, I think we've done such a great job with DARE and talking about the dangers of illicit drugs, et cetera, that this is just something that the kids had easy access to, and even we're seeing a lot of adults now that are starting to abuse the prescription drugs. They're in the medicine cabinets, maybe when they visit, other relatives who are sick, or if they have their molars or wisdom teeth, pulled, and they have some leftover medicines that are being abused. And this is just another tool where we can take these prescription drugs off the street and prevent people from abusing them.
And I think we're even working with I know we've been networking with the area hospice organizations and working with them. Can you tell us a little bit how effective that's working out?
Well, we hope it will continue to work out very well. We sent letters to over 16 hospice organizations throughout the southern Michigan area.
And why did we focus on them?
But because those would be the ones that would be coming into Novi potentially for a hospice death, and we will have direct contact with them as the officers are out on the scene, taking care of the administrative part of it. And what we're advising the hospice nurses is that they can turn those prescription drugs right over to the police officer at the scene, as opposed to leaving them there for the family to dispose of, or taking them back to the hospice office where they all of a sudden will have a much greater amount and they'll have to be transported somewhere. So we hope that they will get into the practice of turning them right over to the officer on the scene, and we will then put it right into the system for destruction.
And then what we do twice a year, we'll end up turning all those over to the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration?
Correct. We take them all out of the package. We don't put bottles in there and wrappers. And again, twice a year, when they do their formal initiative after that, we will turn everything over to the DEA.
Great. Some outstanding offerings that we're able to provide: educate our community, inform our community, help them prevent any other type of crime or abuse, whether it's substance abuse, from occurring. I think that's absolutely, and the key to all this stuff is to know where the offerings are located. Go to cityofnovi.org. You can find information on the Drug Take Back program. You can find information on the mobile speed sites. You can find information on crimemapping.com and Nixle. It's all right there at your fingertips, and I applaud both of you gentlemen for leading those initiatives and making those possible.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
And thank you to the viewing audience for tuning into this edition of The Briefing Room. Please stay safe and continue to watch Novi Television.